All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to an exciting Friday here. 2 Men in Black and White. Sorry we missed you yesterday. Couldn't be avoided. All right, let's get right into it. Cankles McTaco Tits and his DHA band of brown shirts down in Georgia today picked up 475 people. 475 people at a manufacturing company, a Hyundai manufacturing company, making electric vehicles, right? Number one, electric vehicles make the planet more human-friendly, shall we say, right? I mean, we need more electric vehicles on the streets of America because we are killing this planet. Donald Trump is rolling back all the efforts. By the way, that Paris Climate Accord, we're not doing that, are we? Hell no. But you picked up 475 people at the manufacturing plant. Why? Just why? Brock Ganeles joins us now from the beautiful confines the Hudson River Valley. Brock, it makes no sense. I'm telling you, it feels like this fucking guy has a list, and he's just going down the list. Here's how you fuck up America. Vladimir Putin told me to. Number one. Or he's getting text messages from Vladdy. Hey, I heard you got an electric vehicle plant going down there in Georgia. Send your people down there to shut that shit down.
So who got rounded up? Was it a bunch of South Korean engineers who were there to facilitate the workings of the plant? Do we have any sense of who they actually even rounded up? Because the thinking was that the whole idea of the tariffs, not that any of these fucking policies work together, the tariffs was to get companies like Hyundai to produce more vehicles here in the U.S. so there'd be more jobs and more business here. So this obviously is going to dissuade them from focusing on their U.S. manufacturing when their plant's getting fucking raided.
Hello. Now, did we have to be rocket surgeons to understand that, right? Okay, so the goal is, and maybe, Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin and Minister Xi were having this conversation the other day when they met for cucumber sandwiches, tea, and crumpets. Maybe they were having this conversation back then. Hey, let's get all the manufacturing to pull out of the fucking U.S. We'll make them the 7th or 8th most awesome country in the world. After all three of ours, we'll get manufacturers to come manufacture in China, manufacture up in Crimea or someplace that we steal. We got plenty of land in Russia, plenty of land that's unusable, and they really have nothing that they export, right? Except vodka. I mean, it's a joke. Brock, this is a joke. The governor was a card-carrying Republican here in Georgia. This was one of his big accomplishments, getting these companies to come to Georgia, giving them tax incentives, giving them all the space they need. Brock, when you drive through rural Georgia, you're bound to see one of these. I don't care which direction you go, north, south, east, or west. I just passed one going down to New Orleans for the Super Bowl. A lot
of auto plants, and they tend to be non-union, right? So the business owners, owners love them,
right?
I loved your use of the term rocket surgeons. It's a good combination. So the tariff strategy has been a total backfire. The deportation ICE raid strategy is totally detrimental to American society on a lot of fronts. This is where the two of them meet to create a double whammy of negativity. And this is where we get things add up until the jobs report we got this morning, which showed that the worst job creation since 2020, I think, was the year or the month in the year, revised down the last 2 months. And we're teetering on, into job losses. We're teetering on recession, right? We're right there on the doorstep now. And this horrendous data came out a month after they fired the woman last month who put out the horrendous data. So a month later, you're like, okay, they got the guy whose job it is to doctor up the numbers. And either the guy sucked or this was doctored. Or this was as good as he could show it with any realm of possibility. So was that the play? That it's much worse than this, and this is where he thought he could get away with because the numbers suck. But all these policies are adding up to this, just terrible dynamic on the economy.
Right. And Brock, don't forget that when we look at these numbers, now we're seeing job losses starting to tick up, right? Employment numbers ticking up, what, 4.3? Black unemployment, 7.3, 7.4. Okay, so white America catching a cold, bless you. We got pneumonia over here on the dark side, all right? Black and brown Americans, we got pneumonia because it's, again, 800 and something thousand jobs lost, for black women.
Yep.
That's just black women. That's not the rest of us who are trying to get by, trying to survive.
Yeah, the economic numbers are devastating. And Trump's trying to blame the Fed, right? So he's still going after Powell. He's trying to first go after the black woman who's on the Fed and now trying to maybe tie Powell to, quote, protecting her. He's looking for a reason that he can get away with, firing Jerome Powell so that he'll cut rates. But inflation's still high. I mean, we're in stagflation. Right? But we haven't seen since the 70s, right? Jimmy Carter on the stagflation. So, I mean, the idiocy of the ICE raids when the economy is struggling and we need these businesses all to be investing in America, which was the whole point of the tariffs. It just boggles my mind that there's like absolutely no, symbiosis between anything that's going on at the federal level. It's just Trump deciding, the idea of the day.
Yeah. And again, when Trump decides based on a feeling, because he doesn't do anything based on actual information, right? We suffer. I mean, this fucking guy is an idiot, bro. Like, okay, let's get off of the failures of the business. I mean, again, we thought he was a good businessman. That's what they told us, right? That's what 60% of white men told us and 55% of white women. We thought he was a good business guy. We needed a change from regular politicians. This is what we got. And then he brought along his homeboy who's trying to kill us, within the next 6 months? I mean, RFK and his policy, he says he doesn't even know how many people died during COVID because the information is all scrambled eggs and all wrong. And he doesn't know which sources you can trust. I mean, did you see the nonsensical responses to the Senate hearing committee and the questions they were asking?
Absolutely. He got carved up yesterday and looked like a fool. Oh. The embarrassing part of it is these Republican senators like Cassidy in Louisiana, who's a doctor, who knew. And he knew. And he voted for him. He let him in the seat, and now they're whining, right? There's another guy like Barrasso, I think, from Wyoming or something, another doctor. And they're now appalled at what they're hearing from him. But, they let it happen. Right? They directly voted for this. Look, I told you less than 5 days ago, keep an eye on white America on this COVID shit.
Yep, you did.
And those senators were riled up. Those, white senators, from Sanders to Maggie Hassan to Elizabeth Warren, some of my favorites up there. They're pissed, right? And they're hearing it from their constituents. And you see, California, Oregon, and Washington put together their own consortium. And now in the Northeast, they have a consortium of Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and Maine, the Northeast corridor. It's almost like they're breaking away from the American Health and Human Services. They've seceded from the healthcare union and have created their own little mini country that's going to have its own rules when it comes to the vaccine. I told you white people were not going to put up with the RFK, and he's on RFK. Supposedly he's not even in good, even Trump's souring on him because he's not looking good on TV, and Trump hates that.
No, he's awful on TV. I mean, that raspy voice already had him on the downside, when it comes to his ability to show charisma. Plus, he has zero knowledge when it comes to facts and an understanding of his role at HHS. He doesn't even know what he's supposed to be fucking doing.
And he lies like a motherfucker.
Oh, he just throws out anything. And it's fucking ridiculous. To see that guy on Capitol Hill yesterday talking that crazy shit, he said he hadn't even heard about the Epstein victims on the steps of the Capitol talking about what happened to them. Now, this is the first I'm hearing of it.
Yeah.
The fuck? What are you talking about? What are you living under a rock? This
I
is the
mean,
guy that's charged with keeping us healthy. He's
yeah,
not
not only
following
is our
anything wrong.
America's health going to be in decline, but we're having this now. We're really having like a, I worry for you in Georgia because it's like we have the Confederate states and the Union states are going in different directions because what's going on with their attorney, with their head of healthcare, whatever the title is, right? They're now going to
In Florida,
pull away from mandatory vaccinations for kids in schools. So like Florida is going anti-vax to the hilt, while the
right,
East Coast and the Northeast and the West Coast are saying, wait, we're going to take our health care in our own hands. And that's coming from the constituents. So we're
right.
just another place where America's absolutely divided. But hey, if you're in a state and you're on the side of a state that's siding with RFK, whew, bless your heart, as they say in the South, right?
My God, don't bless mine. I don't want that kind of blessing. But you're right. I mean, the southern portion of the country is going to be screwed from what, Virginia on down? Coming this way? What, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi, Alabama? You think Alabama is not going to go along with what Trump wants people to do?
Yeah, there's going to be no access to the COVID vaccine. And then if they go that
No.
step forward like Florida and start just peeling back on measles, rubella, polio, all this other stuff, I mean, you're just going to have outbreaks. But it's not like we don't still live in the same country. It's going to migrate everywhere.
Right. What are you going to do? Put travel restrictions on people?
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, a year from now, we're going to be in total fucking chaos. Did you see the movie I Am Legend, the remake with Will Smith?
I did. Yeah, where he's in the city all alone with like his
All by
dog or
himself,
something.
him and his dog, and the fucking aliens that were created from some virus, right? Like, bro, that's where we're headed now.
It's got to
That's where
hurt
we're headed.
Disney. It's got to hurt. I mean, how can it not hurt tourism to Florida? Like, how's that family in the Northeast saying, hey, let's go down to Disney World where they have no vaccine, where we might get measles? Like, you're just not going to go. You're not taking your family this year. You say, you know what? Sorry, we'll buy a couple more movies. We'll get you the Disney Channel. We'll watch movies at home.
Yep.
I mean, that's just, RFK's a train wreck. That was an embarrassment.
Yeah.
But how did they get him out? Like, I guess the only way to get him out is to create the embarrassment level so high for Trump that Trump
fires him. Yeah. But because who's going to impeach him? We don't have the numbers.
No.
Right? To impeach and remove.
Yeah, not at all.
The only way out is the Trumpster. And if the Trumpster dies, that's going to take even longer to get him out, right? Because I mean, are sensible Republicans going to take over at that point? See, this is the problem.
Maybe they might actually start acting with their own actual personal conviction if with the fear of intimidation from Trump out of the way. They might. JD Vance isn't strong enough to keep him in line, so people like Cassidy and John Thune and Barrasso, who were kind of appalled at RFK Jr., but went along to get along, to not have a Trump, tweet something negative about them, might, in the J.D. Vance world, might flip. I mean, there's theories that, the MAGA will go into chaos when Trump dies. Maybe that's wishful thinking.
Would you bet your life on it?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm going to stay.
Nobody with an R.
I'm staying in my little cocoon here in north of New York City.
Well, and that's the thing. What do I do now? Stay in the house, right? I moved back here because it was more affordable than my home state.
Yeah, nice weather.
Right? Nice
to
weather.
Be outside more to
be
year.
Outside, right? I don't want to be outside in the fall. I don't want to be getting on planes at America's busiest airport, Hartsfield-Jackson, with people who are walking around with measles, mumps, rubella, polio, and God knows what else.
Hacking coughs, rashes, their arms next to you on the plane, and you can see like
scratching, all that. Yeah, and Brock, I got a granddaughter, and it just scares me because some people think it's okay. I mean, how is it okay? There's a reason we don't have polio anymore. There's a reason why kids are not dropping dead from these avoidable diseases and viruses. And Brock, just think about how far behind the 8 ball we're getting on research and development.
Yeah,
right?
It's going to be hard to play catch up. Yeah, this is going to have a long tail, even when change comes along. I saw a good statistic today. Someone was like, oh, RFK likes to talk about how great things were in the 1950s here in America, how much healthier America was before, obesity kicked in
Okay.
and this, that, and the other thing. But the average life expectancy in the 50s, according to this report I saw, was 71. And now it's 77. Well, look, it's gone up basically a year, a decade. Like, we live longer now. We weren't healthier back then. We're obviously healthier now because medicines have improved it. Life expectancy is on an upward trajectory. It was only COVID that knocked it down. But Trump is like the worst thing that ever happened to American lifespans in the country's history.
Yes.
Maybe since the Civil
Absolutely.
War. Civil War, COVID, and Trump.
Well, this is hold your thought on that Civil War deal. But this is unprecedented, what we're experiencing right now. Like, people are going to look back at this, 50, 100 years from now and say, what the fuck were these people thinking?
And Mark, maybe I don't have to tell you this, but this whole vaccine thing, the COVID thing, and just the ability to access these life-saving vaccines is going to hit the black community much harder than the white community, because it's not going to be covered by insurance. It's going to be just that much more expensive. These shots are going to be hard to get. You're going to have to go to a doctor, get a prescription. Insurance not covering. It's still going to be really costly.
Right.
And, everyone's going to have what, $200 a shot maybe? Let's say you're a family of 4. You got to have $800 laying around to all go get your COVID shots. No, and that's where the income disparity will come into play. So the health outcomes, it's going to crush the black community.
Right.
Do you think RFK gives a shit about that?
Right.
Absolutely not.
But here's the thing, though, brah. Where are the people? Where are the people demanding answers? Where are the people saying, hey, okay, you think vaccines suck. Please explain to us what the goal is here behind not allowing people access to the vaccine. What's the goal of not mandating children be vaccinated before they enter school? What's the goal of cutting air traffic controllers? What's the goal of shutting down one of the busiest plants in Georgia by picking up 500 so-called illegal residents? What's the goal behind all this? Is the goal to get American people working again? Did we pick up 500 people so 500 people who are on unemployment can go down there and get jobs? Because I don't see any buses headed that way. But, what are we doing? How come nobody's asking what is the goal here? And then this fucking guy will come on national TV and fucking lie about how wonderful and how... If he says how hot America is one more time, I'm going to punch that fucker in the face. We're not hot. We're not hot. We look like shit to the rest of the world.
Yeah, and he was whining on social media about how India's kind of moved into, has moved into the camp of China and how we've lost that, partnership. It's like, dude, it was your fucking policies. India their democracy, they would much rather be a close ally of America than fucking China. They've had land disputes, border disputes with China for years. That's not their natural ally. They're much more allied with America, but you pushed them away with your narcissism and idiocy and ultimately, onerous tariffs. It was literally a policy that pushed them away. So it's just another place where Trump lost. America's not hot. America's in decline. We see that. I thought when you said, where are the people? Yeah, when's the last time we've had a really concerted protest on anything? They're out there in D.C., particularly the ex-military, veterans are out there. They're still marching. I saw some good action out of Chicago today as ICE starts to move in. There were some people out on the streets. It wasn't a mass movement, but we haven't had the mass movements in months. What happened even to that energy of demonstrating?
Brock, I don't understand what we're doing and why we're tolerating this. America's better than this. We are better than this. We are better than being at our neighbors' throats. We are better than screaming and yelling at each other and saying gotcha on TikTok. How many more fucking TikTok gotcha videos do we need? I mean, I thought the world was going to explode the other day when Ro Khanna and Marjorie Taylor Greene hugged and said thank you to each other. I thought it was the end of times. I mean, I thought we were going to all spontaneously combust. Because who thought you'd ever see that? And here they are. They found one issue that they could agree on all these years, right? How long have we been dealing with fucking Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? 8 years?
8 years, as I say, it's good 8 years, I think, yeah.
And now sex trafficking is the one thing that she and Bobo and Crazy Mace can get behind? What? Make it make sense, bro.
But are they going to get the votes? Because I heard Mace come out today and say she was going to vote, I don't know if it's yes or no, but vote on the side of releasing the files. And I'm sure you saw the clips and the rumors of the guy from DOJ who's saying they're sitting around stripping out all the Republicans from the files, so it's just going to have Democratic names in it. So like they kind of got caught planning to doctor that document. So maybe they're just waiting until they've actually fucking redacted and doctored the document. But in the interim, I don't know when that vote is supposed to happen, and I know they needed 4 votes, but if Mace is coming along, that's 3. If Boebert comes along, that's 4. I mean, my math says that's enough.
218. That's 218.
That's enough. Yeah. And you know it drives Trump crazy, that fucking tweet he sent out relative to why the files shouldn't be released.
Yeah.
And his point was because they didn't get released in Democratic administrations, and therefore it's a Democratic hoax. Why should we release it now? Which made me think like the logic is the files shouldn't be released because the files have not been released. Because they haven't been previously released. Right. They shouldn't be released now. Yeah. And that's the argument for not releasing them.
Yeah, what was he saying? The do-nothing Democrats didn't release them.
They didn't release them.
Released back then. Why would you release them now?
We can't release them now.
Right. I mean, the House Oversight Committee is going to get their hands on that nasty book where Trump doodled in there with his pictures and everything, the birthday book for Epstein. So who knows how many names are in there, right? So it's going to be really fun, to see people squirm, especially on the Republican side of the aisle. These Democrats are a pretty straight-laced group. I mean, remember what happened to Al Franken, right?
Yeah.
Just accused of some sort of possible sort of impropriety, and he stepped down. We lost a talented member right there. That was a talented dude. He understood the law, he understood people, and he understood how to govern. He's a very smart guy.
And he was good on TV, which is a skill set that has gotten more and more important over every year.
In the Trump era.
The Massey from Kentucky named a name today because it was a name that had already been out, a guy named John Paulson, who's a huge heavyweight.
Oh, yeah.
Hedge fund billionaire in New York, because they're already running ads against him in Kentucky because they're going to primary him. They're doing the massive shakedown on anyone who will not toe the line on protecting Trump on these files. So that one's not going away. I wish we had a little more story on that, but if we get the 4 votes, I don't know how Mike Johnson, what shenanigans he pulls if and when he realizes that he doesn't have the votes. I think he just makes up some rule and doesn't let it come to the floor.
Yeah, that...
I don't trust him in any way, shape, or form to allow.
That's what the word on the street is. Yeah, the word on the street is that he's not letting it come to the floor some kind of way. Now, I'm sure he's probably in the Library of Congress trying to figure out exactly how he can do that as Speaker. But, who knows? He may be in there for all we know. And, again, the more I see those clips of those women, I saw the young lady, the Brazilian young lady who, had to quit high school because Epstein was calling her so much. And my heart just breaks. Imagine if that's your sister, your daughter. Right? Somebody in your family that you love. Everyone has women in their family they care about. And to see that happen to somebody so young, her whole life, the trajectory of her life was screwed from the moment she met Ghislaine Maxwell. And here she is at Club Fed coming and going as she pleases. Sitting down, being catered to, demanding a pardon.
Yeah, and that DOJ guy admitted that she got moved to keep her quiet. Not that we didn't suspect that, but now it's just being acknowledged.
Yeah, because they don't care. They don't care. And now, Brock, don't forget, we've got these federal judges that are slamming the Supreme Court, just saying, hey, you guys, after we go and vigorously, defend positions and the law, you guys just overturn it with little or no justification at all because you have a 6-3 majority. Supreme Court's at its lowest approval rating in the history of the court.
And
I mean,
Amy Coney Barrett's writing a fucking book. Why is she writing a book? Well, save that shit for after you leave the job, right? Like, although they usually die in the seat, right? But what the fuck? She needs to make some money on the side. It's not enough to just have one of the most important jobs in the country. Like, what the fuck?
Right.
Like, just everyone's a grifter, right? Everyone's got to make some money on the sly, right? Everyone's got to monetize their seat, right? They had a photo of a senator like buying and selling stocks on his phone in a hearing, right? Like front running fucking policy. But that's a whole nother topic.
It's all about the money, bro. It's all about the grift.
But the people haven't done enough. Like people, we're still too complacent. We're not out there enough. The politicians have gotten the memo, right? They're out there more aggressively now for the most part. And the RFK Q&A yesterday showed that.
I heard a great line yesterday. I wish I could quote the person and give them credit. I'm going to have to look it up. But they said the Democratic Party doesn't need fighters right now. We need killers. We need killers. We don't need fighters. We need killers. Just like Trump said, you got a lot of killers. Got a lot of killers in the country. A lot of killers.
That's why I love Elizabeth Warren. And Mondani in New York basically said, hey, Trump, come debate me. Stop coming in here and trying to prop up Andrew Cuomo. Instead of debating Andrew Cuomo, why don't I just debate you directly?
Exactly.
And on my quick hitter, you probably saw that supposedly they're floating the idea of having Eric Adams be like an ambassador to Saudi Arabia to get him out of the mayor's race so he doesn't split votes with Cuomo because they're trying every trick in the book to beat Mondani. They want to beat Mondani. So Andrew Cuomo now is cozying up with MAGA to try to win mayor of New York. I want that guy's career over on November 4th or whatever date it is.
How far has the Cuomo family fallen? Wow. They may be in the Epstein file. I don't know. I thought Chris was an honorable dude. I thought he was a straight shooter. Come to find out, he's playing both sides against the middle, all behind the scenes and everything, working on his brother's campaign, getting messages out there. You can't even trust the media.
Yeah, they definitely moved MAGA adjacent in order for career purposes, right? Because Andrew Cuomo doesn't have a lane. He lost the primary, but he just couldn't give it up and stayed in the race. And now he's closing up to Trump. Right. I mean, that was an interesting. My other quick hit for you on the white guy side of the ledger. Have you been seeing these crying tears from all these farmers in Arkansas? Doing special events and supposedly getting the ear of Tom Cotton's team. Of course, Tom Cotton didn't show up. And where's Huckabee Sanders in all this, right? This is right on Hurt Watch. And the farmers have finally realized they're getting crushed. But the thing that pissed me off is I saw a tweet from Adam Kinzinger laying out how all the farmers are getting crushed. And at the end, he wrote like a one-liner saying, these farmers need to wake up. I was like, they need to wake up. Do you mean they need to get woke? They need to get woke? What do you mean by wake up? So they're not woke enough. The farmers aren't woke enough. Not woke enough to their plight, that they're getting screwed by Trump's policies. Now we gotta... So my read on it was, so Adam Kinzinger, you think that these farmers need to wake up? Like, you don't think that they didn't know exactly what they were fucking voting for and they aren't getting exactly what they asked for with their vote? Minus the fact that it's hurting them economically. They got exactly what they wanted for. This is Trump 2.0, not Trump 1.0.
And remember, in Trump 1.0, white farmers were compensated for their losses, the black farmers. So let's keep that in mind.
The white farmers are asking for it again. They're asking for a handout again. They're saying, we don't really want to take the money, but we're going to go under if we don't get it. And I just think to myself, is this welfare queen action here? So you need a handout again to get by. We taxpayers should be funneling money to you because you're a good, hardworking person that's just having a bad circumstance. So you need what? Some reparations because there's policy that's hurting you economically?
Would you speak to the congregation? Would you speak to them?
I mean, Kinzinger says they need to, quote, wake up. My question is, what do they need to wake up to? that they were so fucking racist that they buried themselves. I mean, I'm just trying hard, trying to muster up some level of compassion, and I just can't get there yet.
At all, buddy.
If they come out and say, we were bamboozled by MAGA, we'll never vote that way again, we fucked up, we get it, we made mistakes, we were blinded by our fucking racism. We wanted these Latinos out even though they were the ones working on our farms, so now we have no workers. We wanted Trump's MAGA because we wanted a whiter America, but oops, along the way, we lost all our international customers. America first and alone bankrupts me. Okay, if I get a full mea culpa, maybe I'll come around. For now, got no interest. Go tell it to Sarah Huckabee Sanders and Tom Cotton and whoever that other fucking senator is out there.
All them R's. Yep. I got no love for you. All right, Brock, we are out of time, buddy. We'll rack it up and do it again tomorrow.
Absolutely, Mark. Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Have a great night. Peace.